Okay, so one of the questions I often get asked is, do I have any pictures on the website with the titanium tube on the black shotgun, and comparing it to the steel tube on the black shotgun, the black steel tube on the black shotgun? And I don't have any pictures like that. And the reason is I don't have really any shotgun pictures on the website much at all. It's just of the parts themselves. But there are pictures on the website where I show a comparison of the black tube next to the titanium tube, next to the NP3 coated tube for the titanium shotgun, to kind of show the differences there. And it can be really tricky because I do that under a light box, so that can mess with the way it looks a little bit. And then depending on your device, you could have your device settings set to where there's no blue light, and that's going to affect the image, or your computer could be set up, the screen could be set up. So you never can be certain that what you see as the color is exactly the way it's going to be, because of the devices, because of the cameras that I use, or the lights that I use, because of how you have your device tuned. But the point I'm trying to make is that I do have pictures with the tubes, side by side on a few of the pages. And what the question leads to is, for me, is it allows me to know what the customer is thinking about. Are they more worried about form and function, or are they more worried about looks? And oftentimes, somebody who calls me or emails me will tell me they want it to look right. So that tells me right away that they're thinking more about the looks right now than the function. There's other people that don't care at all about how it looks. They just want it to be the best shotgun they can make, form and function. So the reason why I discuss it is, think about what's important to you as a shotgun owner. Is it more important to have something pretty, or is it more important to have something that works the best, that feels the best? Because at the end of the day, what's going to matter? If you are defending your home, or if you're defending your food, or if you're out dealing with wild animals or whatever, how it looks isn't going to come into play. It's how it functions. And one of the only parts that I sell where this really comes into play and becomes a concern is the magazine tube. People, it's a big part of the gun, and people want it to look right, and I get that. I want it to look right, and I want the form and function. And talking about these tubes specifically, the titanium tube is the tube for the form and function. It's half the weight of the steel tube. It holds the same amount of rounds. It's more rust resistant, and it's an amazing work of art. The steel is awesome too. It matches the gun great, but it's heavier. It's also cheaper. It's like $100, $120 cheaper, something like that. So, some people who are going to be a little budget conscious might prefer the steel. Some people who don't care about the budget and just want form and function are going to go straight to the titanium. But at the end of the day, which is it that you're looking for? And I think that you have to try to strike the balance. In all these years of selling titanium magazine tubes, I think I've only had one come back to me where the person wasn't satisfied with the match. It's a close enough match, but it's not perfect. The steel will give you almost always a perfect match, but the titanium, some people are a little more tricky. I don't take returns, of course, anymore, but so you have to kind of make that decision before it goes out the door. But I mean, I've sold thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of titanium magazine tubes, and only had one come back in the early days when we were small, had one come back. But, again, it's just a work of art, and it's going to serve you well. And when I go to the range, when I've taken shotgun classes before, and people find out I have a titanium magazine tube on the gun, the first thing they say is, can I hold it? Can I sling it around a little bit? And I mean, they just light up. They light up. They can't believe how light the gun feels with the titanium magazine tube on there. So, as a business, I mean, I can make the steel tubes easier and quicker, and, it just makes sense for me to lead you to the steel tube. It's just easier to do. But if you want to build the gun to be a work of art, you want to build the gun to be the best that it can be, it's the titanium one all day long. The match is close. It isn't perfect. But if you look at this gun, it's a patchwork of colors and textures anyway. You've got molded plastic on there. You've got aluminum. You've got steel. You've got knurling. You've got ribs. You've got stainless steel. There's all sorts of colors and textures on this gun. Having one more color or texture, not a big deal. That titanium tube all day long without a doubt.